Hello and welcome to SAT Practice Test 5, Part 2. We're going to be using the TI-84 plus CE calculator, specifically the SAT7 SAT Math Calculator Program available from mcstutoring.com. As you expected, everything, all the links are in the description and comments and yada, yada, yada. So without further ado, let's get started. So we're not going to go over every single question, just the ones I think that most students can handle using a little bit of math sense and the SAT Calculator Program. So the easier ones are going to be green, medium ones yellow, and then the harder ones in red. So if you find something that's a little more challenging for you, you can skip it, go to the next one. That's totally cool. You'll be fine. Okay, so first one, what is 20% of 440? Oh, you got to love this here. We're going to go to percents. A is B percent of C. So if you're unfamiliar, this is going to be the A, the what, meaning the unknown. B is going to be that percentage, and then C. So A is B percent of C. So option 4 in the percents menu. And then what is the unknown? Oh, it's the A. A is the unknown. So what's the B value? It's 20. Now I know you've been trained like 20% is 0.20. But look, we're just going to put 20 for percent here. Okay. And then the C value is 440. Okay. And then A is 88. So there we go. It's 88. Okay, great. So calculator program is great for that. Now, in this next one, it says argon, sorry, it's an element, noble gas, I think, is placed inside a container with constant volume. The graph shows the estimated pressure Y in pounds per square inch PSI of the argon when its temperature is X kelvins. Don't worry about this wall of text. They're trying to get inside your head. Don't give them space there. So what is the estimated pressure of the argon in PSI when the temperature is 600 kelvins? All we're doing is graphical interpretation here. So when it's 600 kelvins, we're going to go up until we intersect this line at this dot. And then, estimated pressure. That's on the vertical scale, the y-axis. So we go dee. Sorry for that not straight line. Maybe I'm a day drinker. I don't know. Probably shouldn't be saying that. Okay, so the pressure's 12. I'm not. I'm drinking coffee. Pressure's 12. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm making fun of my alcoholic Irish ancestors. Forgive me. Okay, for 3, the function f is defined by f of x is 4x minus 3. What's the value of f of 10? So this is great. We have a program for this. Algebra equations. And then we're going to plug in a value because we're going to plug in this. Let me go here. I'll go in green. We're going to plug in 10 for the x value. So you could do it by hand, or you could do, hey, let's do plug in value, option 4 for the algebra equations. And what is y? And just so you know, y and f of x are 90% interchangeable in this test. There are some distinctions to be made in other areas of math, but don't worry about it right now. So 4x minus 3. And then, what are we plugging in? X is going to be 10. That's what means f of 10 means our variable, in this case x, is going to be 10. So plug that in. We get 37. Okay, great. So these, so far have been easy. We're going to get some medium and hard ones. So speak of the devil. Okay. A veterinarian recommends that each day a certain rabbit should eat 25 calories per pound of the rabbit's body weight, plus an additional 11 calories. Which equation represents the situation where C is the total number of calories the veterinarian recommends the rabbit should eat each day if the rabbit's weight is X pounds? So what we're saying is, we've got this situation. I'll show you the general format. You've probably seen this before in an algebra class, y equals mx plus b. So let me explain some of these things. The m slope, it's also known as the variable rate, okay? And then b, I'll put that in, let's go in blue. That's going to be fixed. Okay, so there's like a fixed and a variable rate. So it's like a fixed rate. Okay, so let's talk about how we deal with it. So we're saying, the cost is something to do with calories. Well, what is it per calorie? Okay, so 25 calories per pound. I'll try to keep this color-coded, 25 calories per pound. So 25x, so 25 times the pound, because the pound of a rabbit could change, right? It could be 20 pounds, could be 10 pounds, could be 100 pounds. You're dealing with like some kind of crazy big rabbit, in which case you should be running, but they got big old legs, so they're probably going to outrun you. Okay, just give it some rabbit food. give it, I don't know, like 25 calories per that 100 pounds. Okay, we won't go there. Plus an additional 11 calories. So no matter what happens, rabbit needs 11 calories, even if it's, 0 pounds. So this is going to be our equation. 25 is going to be the variable rate because it changes per pound, and that fixed 11, no matter what happens, it's always plus the 11 at the end. So 25x plus 11. And it is a little challenging, so I marked it yellow. So as you get more exposure to this, there's something in psychology called progressive desensitization. You just get more and more familiar, like, oh, okay, cool, I'm understanding how to write algebra equations. So you'll get used to it. You'll get the hang of it. It's like learning a foreign language. Okay, now this next one, I like going this powder blue here. If 6n equals 12, what's the value of n plus 4? So what we're going to do is algebra equations. So this is a two-stepper, okay? We're going to do solve here for that first part. So the A part is solve. And then the B part is plug in. Okay, so we're going to be using algebra equations twice. First, we're going to do solve an equation. And then for those unfamiliar, we break it into left side, right side. So let me explain that. The left side is going to be 6n. And then the right side is going to be 12. But look, my program is not perfect. We're going to call it 6x. And this is where the variable key is, right next to the alpha key in the upper left-hand portion of the keypad. So 6x on the left side and then 12 on the right. And I get x equals 2. Okay. And that's not our final thing, because what we want to know is what is x, or in this case, n plus 4. So you can just do 2 plus 4 is 6, or you could use the program again, algebra equations, plug in a value, and we're like, okay, what's the equation? It's n, or x, plus 4, and like, what's our x value? It's 2. So then we get 6. So 6 is our actual answer that they're looking for there. Okay. Now, what's the solution to give an equation? Okay, this is a little funky looking, I grant you. So what's going to happen here is this is, okay. No, you know what? I think we could solve this as an algebra equation. It's actually going to come out to be a quadratic, but let's see if this works. So the left side, right side again. So we're going to do left side is the left of the equal sign, and the right side is the right of the equal sign. And instead of d, we have to put x. So, and I do want to be careful with these parentheses. It's putting parentheses, I'm putting parentheses, we're putting parentheses. So it's going to be x minus 30, close parentheses, and then open parentheses again. X plus 30, close parentheses, minus 7. That's the left side. And then the right side, negative 7. Now be careful here. This negative key, it's below the 3 key to the left of the enter key. This is negative. This is minus. Calculator's really picky about that. So this is the negative key. Okay. 30. X equals 30. Actually, cool. We could have done this quadratic, but, I get paranoid at times. I dislike making mistakes in math. I will say that. Okay. Line R in the XY plane has a slope of 4. So that means M equals 4. M is referred to as slope in a lot of these linear equations, and passes through the point 0, 6. So we have a slope and we have a point. I'm going to write PT. Okay. So check this out. We've got a linear equation because it's a line. So we can choose option 2 here. And what do we have? Well, we have a slope and a point. Oh, point slope. Okay, there we go. That's our given. So what is the M? M meaning the slope, and I label it here in case you're unfamiliar. The slope is 4, M equals 4. And then what is the point? The X value. And it goes X comma Y. So the X value is 0. Y value is 6. Bam! Oh, gotta love it. So Y equals 4X plus 6. Okay, cool. We choose that. So just getting familiar with how the calculator program works is gonna save your bacon on the math portion of the SAT. Math calculator programs are legal on the SAT. Okay, this is great. Again, number 9. Competitive diver dives from a platform into the water. The graph shows the height above the water, y meters. So this is the water level, by the way. So it hits the water right there. X seconds after diving from the platform. What is the best interpretation of the X intercept with the graph? Oh my gosh. So this diver is hitting the water at this point. So it looks like And what is this? This x-axis, sorry, I covered up the x, that's the time. So at 1.6, diver hits the water. Diver hits the water 1.6 seconds. Beautiful. And just getting familiar, don't worry, they're trying to get inside your head by giving you a wall of text. That's okay. That's okay. Just go with your training and you'll be fine. Okay, good. And it's moderately challenging, as is this next one looks like. So the kinetic energy in joules of an object with mass 9 kilograms traveling at a speed of v meters per second is given by the function k, where k of v is 9 over 2, or 9 halves, v squared. Which of the following is the best interpretation of k of 34 equals 5202? Okay, that means 34 is your v. So let me highlight some stuff. V, that means that's your v value. So v equals 34, whatever that means. So what is v? V is the speed, meters per second. So it's the speed. So that's our speed. Ooh, oh my gosh, I'm writing really big here. And then I'll go orange for the this 5202 is the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is given by the function k. So ke equals 5202. So an object traveling at 34 meters per second, yeah, that's good, has a kinetic energy of 5202 joules. Oh, yes, A. Okay, good. And look, it does take a little while before you start getting familiar with how to interpret all these algebraic equations. So give yourself time to do that. Okay, and I do recommend practicing on your own, practicing on blank tests, and then also using the calculator program. So on to number 11. The scatter plot shows the relationship between two variables x and y. Again, x-axis here, x is horizontal typically, and y is the vertical axis typically. A line of best fit for the data is also shown. For how many of the 10 data points is the actual y value greater than the y value predicted by the line? So let me explain something here. So this prediction, okay, is this orange line. I'm trying to get it pretty darn close. Okay, so which ones are higher? How many of these dots are higher than that line? I'm like, okay, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 6 of these dots actual. So the dots are the actual, the orange line is a predicted. So actual green, predicted orange. So how many of the green are higher than the orange? Did we say 6? We said 6. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. There we go. Okay, we're almost halfway through the test. Okay, blah, blah. And look, you can do these others. And I do recommend, look, there's no penalty for guessing. In your parents' time, there was a penalty for guessing. In my time, I don't want to get into it. It's this whole other conversation. But there's no penalty for guessing anymore. So since 75% of the questions in the SAT now are multiple choice, guess on everyone that you're like unfamiliar with. So you got like 25% chance of getting them right. But in the free response, like, I don't know, like 1 in 1,000 chance of getting it right. But that's okay. At least give it a shot, right? Okay. 5, I'm going to call it EI, a type of sea turtle, each have a nest. The table shows an original data set of the number of eggs that each turtle laid in its nest. Doom, 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 doom. A 6th nest with 121 eggs added to create a new data set. So I'm going to call this data set 1 and then data set 2. Okay. It's going to be like 149, 144, 148, 136, 139, and then the 6th nest is 121. So what we're going to do is enter 2 data sets. And which of the following correctly compares the means of the 2 data sets? So whenever I see data sets, my intuition is like, oh, it's a stats question. So 6. Okay. So what I want to do, and I'm going to color code everything for you. This is term 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this first data set, we have 5 terms. So we're going to enter 5 there. And then what are the term values? So 149. And I do this not only to count the number, but then also keep track, because often the SAT likes to double up values and kind of can do a little head fake there. So the first term is 149. Second term, 144. Third is 148. Fourth is 136. And the 5th is 139. There we go. And so we're talking about the means. So the mean of 1 is 143.2. Okay, that's what we want from that first data set. Now we're going to return to that. We're going to go back to stats, number of terms in the list. Now it looks like we have, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 terms in that list. And then what are the term values? Okay, so 149 for the first one, 144 for the second, 148 for the third, 136 for the fourth term, right? And then 139, and then 121. There we go. And then this mean is 139.5. Okay, so we're going to compare the 143.2 of the first set with 139.5 of the second. So the mean of the original data set is greater than the mean of the new data set. Yes, because 143.2 is greater than 139.5. So option A. And that's the way to do it using the calculator program. Okay, we're going to continue. Okay, in triangle RST, the measure of angle R is 63 degrees. Which of the following could be the measure in degrees of S? So I'm just going to make a random triangle. I'll call it RST. R is 63. Now, this requires you to understand one important rule of triangles. Sum of interior angles, meaning the inside, like these little things like this angle, and then this angle, some interior angles of triangle equals 180. So they have to add up to be 180. So what does that mean for us? Okay, let's figure it out. That means 63 plus S plus T equals 180. Okay, so let's do a little bit of algebra here. If I subtract 63 from both sides, right, I get S plus T equals what's 180 minus 63? I think it's 117. Okay, so each angle presumably has to be at least 1 degree. So which of the following could be the measure of angle S? Well, S can't be 180 because that's the sum of interior angles of a triangle. It can't be 126 because T can't be negative. It can't be 118 because S plus T is 117. So 116 is the only one it can be. So it does require you to know the sum of interior angles of a triangle. That's these hot pink ones. Have to add up to be 180. You should do a little bit of algebra here. So to get rid of the 63, you have to do the opposite. If we just put it here, we're assuming it's positive 63. So to get rid of it, we do the opposite, which is subtracting 63. We do believe in equality in math, so what we do to the left side of the equal sign, we have to do the right side of the equal sign. Okay, cool. Good. Okay, next one, 18. If 4 rad 2x equals 16, what's the value of 6x? So what we do here is we want to solve for x. So again, this is one of those two-parters. We have to do solve for this part and then plug in for the second part. This is one of the more common questions of the test. So we go to algebra equations, and just so you know, algebra equations, most common things, system of two equations. That's super common in the SAT nowadays. And then solving equations is also pretty common. Plug-in value is probably the third most common thing, but I put absolute value there just to break it up. So we're going to do solve an equation. And then again, left side, right side. And I think you guys are familiar with this, but if you're not, what we're going to do is say left side of the equal sign, right side of the equal sign. So this is the left side. Sorry, this is getting a little busy here. And the right side, 16. So we're going to do 4. And then to get the radical, we press second and the x squared. That's how to get that radical or root or square root key, depending on what part of the country you live in or what part of the world. We do 2x, and this is our x t theta n. I call it the variable key because there's another x down here, and a student threw a fit when I didn't explain that the x, that's another x, but the x we want most of the time is here. Okay, so 4 rad 2x. I would have thrown a fit too. I'm not trying to, cast aspersions. Okay, the right side is 16. And we get x equals 8. So that's not quite the answer yet. That's just the first part. Then we have to plug it in for 6x. So what we're going to do is go back to algebra equations, plug in a value, option 4. And then what is it? It's 6x. Okay. Oh, and what is the x value? 8. Boom. So 48 is the answer that we're looking for here. So option B. That is good. Okay. We continue. Okay, 19. We're going to skip. Okay. The solution to the given system of equations is x comma y. What's the value of 30x? So it is a little tricky. So first thing is it's a algebra equations, system two equations. So and I want to explain a few things. We wanted ax plus by equals c, and then dx plus ey equals f. So they're being a little tricky because they have the x's on the right hand side here. So I'm going to call this equation 1, Roman numeral 1, and then Roman numeral 2 to differentiate here. And then we're going to walk through these. It's not too bad. So equation 1, we have to do a little bit of manipulation. And I don't mean manipulation like, I'm going to steal your boyfriend. Not like that. We're not going to manipulate in an evil way, but math manipulation, hey, it's totally fine, as long as you're not flubbing data. Okay, now, again, to get rid of stuff, you do the opposite. So we have a 10x on the right-hand side. We want all the x's and y's on the left-hand side. Okay, this is the left and this is the right. So what we're going to do is subtract 10x because we have positive 10x. To get rid of it, we do the opposite, which is subtract 10x. We still believe in equality in math, so we put the same thing on the left side and the right side, the equal sign. And then, we're going to do it in alphabetical order, so it's negative 10x plus 5y. So if we don't have a sign in front of the 5y, assume it's positive, equals 11, because that's canceled. Oh, like Twitter 2016, cancel culture, which I'm not really big into in real life, but in math, oh my gosh, cancel culture, manipulation. Oh, love it, love it, love it. So this is going to be our new equation 1. Okay, and I'll change colors to go to equation 2. So in 2, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to erase something here because I can't quite see it. I get this negative 5y equals 5x minus 21. And then again, to get rid of things, we do the opposite. So to get rid of this 5x, we subtract 5x. We have to do it to both sides. And then, so we're going to have negative 5x minus 5y equals negative 21. Oh my gosh, negatives all over the place. Okay. That's our new equation 2. So I'm just going to be dealing with the blue and the red equations now. And again, you have to be mindful of the signs. You have to be careful. This a, and let me explain this. This is our coefficient for the x, coefficient for the y, and coefficient for the c. And then likewise on the other one, we have negative 5 as our coefficient for the x, negative 5 coefficient for the y, negative 21 is going to be our f value here. Okay, so a, negative 10. B is 5. We don't have to put, you can put positive 5 if you like, but just 5 is fine because we assume positive 5 is 5. And then 11 there. And then we have D is negative 5. Again, the negative key here below the 3, so negative 5. And then negative 5 for the y. And then negative 21. I know after all this work, you're like, oh my gosh. So we have x is 0.666. So let me get to that. So I'll do hot pink now. We have x equals 0.66 repeating. And it's it's the SAT, so it's tricky. This might have been a red question because it's so long. Longer generally means more complicated. Not always, but so we have x. We want 30x. So let me walk through this. So we're going to plug in a value. Go back to algebra equations, plug in a value. Okay, what is it? We want 30x. So 30x is our equation. And then what's x value? Now look, I'm going to exaggerate. Check this out. And that's fine. I'm going to press 6 like 10 times or more. Okay, just to be careful. And okay, I get 20. So 30x equals 20. That's the answer they're looking for. So when I was your age, I'd always get this wrong because I was trained always just to solve for x. But don't be that algebra pit bull. You want to make sure you're answering the question they're asking, which is 30x, which is 20 in that case. Okay, we continue. Man, we have to be pretty close to finishing. Oh, goodness, we are. Okay, so look, 24. Which quadratic equation has no real solutions? So what we're going to do is we can go to quadratics. This is in standard form, just so you know. And if you're not familiar with standard form, it means ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So I'll walk you through this first one. If we have x squared plus 14x minus 49 equals 0, what this really means is like 1x plus 1x squared, oh my goodness, plus 14x minus 49 equals 0. These are the coefficients. So our a is 1, our b is 14, and our c is negative 49. Okay, look at this. These are real solutions. I don't see any I. So no real. Okay, let me highlight that. So I don't want to just assume everybody knows everything we're talking about. No real solutions. That means there are imaginary. You know what? I'm not going to highlight this. This is imaginary. That means there are imaginary. Okay. Which means there's an I there. Okay. And you'll see what I mean in a second. You can have radicals, negative 7 plus or minus 7 rad 2. That's cool. So it's not that because that has real solutions. Let's keep going. And again, it will take a little bit of while to plug in everything. We're going to go to quadratics in standard form. And then you probably know this is going to be 1, negative 14, positive 49. Because if we don't have a number in front, we assume a 1. So 1 for A. And then B is negative 14. And C is 49. There we go. Okay, 7 plus or minus 0. Okay, that's a real solution. We're saying what has no real solution, so it's not that. So watch it be D. Oh my gosh. Typical SAT trick. Because if you're plugging and chugging, you usually go like A through D, and then D is going to be the answer. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to quadratics again. Solve standard form. And then the A is 5, so it's 5, negative 14, negative 49. So oops, A is, what was it? 5. I put 4. My goodness. And then B is negative 14. And C is negative 49. 7 plus or minus 7 rad 6 over 5. That's still a real solution, so it's not that one. Now look, you probably know the answer. It's D, process of elimination. But for those who are doubting Thomas's, which is fine, we're going to go to quadratics again. We're going to probably change color here, right? We'll go green, color we haven't used yet. Standard form, coefficients 5, negative 14. There's other ways to do this problem too. I'm not saying using the calculator is the only way to do this. I's just appeared, meaning this letter I. So this one has no real solutions. It has imaginary solutions. Okay, great. So look, we finished SAT Practice Test 5, available for free as a download as a PDF from collegeboard.org. I'll put the link in the description in the comments. And then you can get this TI-84 calculator program. This is SAT7, the SAT Math Calculator Program, available from mcstutoring.com. And then subscribe. And then comment if there's stuff you want to see or don't want to see in future videos. I do read the comments and I do listen. And that's how I've made adjustments to the SAT. So obviously it's SAT7. There's actually been more than 7 renditions of this. But right now we're on SAT7. So that's cool. Again, this is close to mid-April 2025. By May 2025, we're just going to be doing like a bazillion quadratic equations one day, and then a bazillion system equations, and then like a bazillion, like this, that, and the other, like percent problems, and then stats. So just section by section, so you can get more confidence going over repetitions of just quadratics, or just linear, or just algebra equations, or just circles, just so you're totally familiar with the program and totally familiar with the test. Okay. Good luck on your SAT endeavors. I'll catch you next time.